Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is the join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that.
For a couple of days now, I've observed the public discourse with regard to the increase of the term limits from the current 5 years to 7 years. Initially, the first person to have written an article about this was Fred Membe. He was alleging to say President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND are working towards changing the constitution. So when I put up that article here, most of us brushed it off to say it's just propaganda coming from Fred Membe. And then a couple of articles came from other sources in due season or in due course. And then I thought it would just die a natural death. It won't be a conversation in the nation. But it seems to be persisting. It seems like there is that conversation. I should have been from yesterday's broadcast where you heard the Minister of Justice, the new lady there, state to say government will go with what the majority of stakeholders say about this issue. And it seems to be persistent. So I've seen a number of polls going around on the internet where people are asked to give their opinion on where they stand with regard to the increase of the term limits from 5 to 7 years. So I decided to run a poll right here on this channel with you, my subscribers, to pick your mind or to see what you think about this. And here are the results. So the poll has been up for the past 1 day. It's still on the community tab for you to go and see the results, but I decided to publish the results as they stand right now. So in total, 116 of you voted in this. So I asked the question, should the presidential term be increased to 7 years from the current 5 years? And then I put up the options to say it can be either yes with an explanation, no with an explanation, and then maybe. And these are your responses there. So David Lungu says 7 years for a president, but 5 years for MPs does not make sense. And then Godfrey says, the experience we went under one party is testimony on how people lose their power and give their rights to one group of people with the idea that they will be one to check and conduct whether you can see the other stuff in that article. It's too small, but let me see who else is here amongst the results. I can't see that name, but he says we want Bali to continue to rule. You can see all these results on the community tab. Everything is there. The font is too small for me to be able to see, but yeah. So the overall result says 78% of you say no. None of you want the term limits to be changed from the current 5 years, and then 16% say yes. And then there are explanations if you go on that particular post. And maybe 6%. So from the total votes of 116 on this channel. And this is not different from what I have found from the various publications online. Majority of the Zambians are not here for this. So I do not know who's pushing this agenda. But the conversation with regard to JJ Banda seems to be getting back in the fray of the conversation of the nation. It had gone off the grid for, I think, 2 weeks, the past 2 weeks. The news cycle was dominated by Sylvia Masebo and what happened at Ministry of Health and those shuffles. But there are two people that are very critical to making sure that the nation does not forget about what's going on with JJ Banda or his predicament. And that is the person you see on screen. That is Binwa Mpundu, Nkada Member of Parliament, and Munia Zulu. No matter how much people try to disregard them, one thing you can credit them for is they are very loyal friends. Him, Binwa Mpundu, and Munia Zulu when the conversation seems to be drilling down again, with regard to JJ Banda, they always bring it back to public conversation so that people know what happened and what's going on. So that's commendable. Munia Zulu did a live stream about it, and then Binu decided to put up an article with regard to the situation of JJ Banda to say, let's not forget what happened to him. So this is what Binu Wampundo had to say. And this was published by the Patriotic Front. So Honorable Binu Wampundo writes, do not do what is morally right versus, doing what's morally right versus doing what's politically right. I've on several occasions asked the Speaker of the National Assembly to direct the Minister of Home Affairs to inform the nation through a ministerial statement in Parliament over the abduction of Honorable JJ Banda. And the response has always been that the matter is under investigation. I remember when a young lady, Pamela Chisupa, was abducted, the minister was directed to issue a ministerial statement over the abduction, which he did even when the matter was still under investigation. Tomorrow, the Speaker has directed the Minister of Home Affairs to come to the House and issue a ministerial statement over the abduction and killing of Mr. Muleya, the IBA boss, which matter is under investigation and some suspects have already been arrested. The challenge I have, is when are we going to start acting right, guided by the moral compass, as opposed to acting only when it becomes politically convenient for us or to us? How can people choose to politic over the abduction of Honorable JJ Banda and refuse to completely or listen to the voices of reason? JJ has relatives, JJ has children, JJ has wives, and the nation needs to know what happened to him. But the Speaker chooses to do politics. But today, the same mouth that said no to the statement being made because the matter of JJ Banda being under investigation has today decided to allow the statement to be issued on the matter that is under investigation. The issue of abduction is becoming very serious, and just yesterday, Honorable Kabita of Zambezi East lamented how he has been seeing people trading him up to Parliament Montel, and fears that he may be abducted and harmed. Yet these are our friends who have downplayed the severity of Honorable JJ Banda's abduction. The greatest lesson in leadership is need to act morally right always, even when it's politically may not be right. And then he signs it off, Binu Mpundu. So him and Munia Zulu have made sure that the situation with regard to JJ Banda does not fall off the public conversation. It stays in there. So tomorrow we expect an official statement coming from Jack Mwimbu, Home Affairs Minister, with regard to what happened exactly to JJ Banda, what's his situation, and where things stand. So we look forward to that statement. And obviously, they also give a statement with regard to Muleya, the late Muleya, IBA boss, who was killed. What is Laura Miti asks a question to say, if you know, this was published in the News Diggers. They say, Muchende withdraws a signed consent agreement to end his defamation claim against O'Brien Carver. So, and then Laura Miti captions to say, seeing as the Solicitor General has changed his mind about clearing his name of the grave corruption accusations advanced against him, will we then resign? So she asks to say, if he has withdrawn the defamation, so is he going to resign? Is it an admission of guilt? There, that's the question she's asking there. What is Smart Ego say publishes? Former ministers being investigated for corruption, they quickly reveal their names. If it is his own ministers from that side, Z meaning it's quiet when it's UPND ministers. That's the Smart Egos there. What is police put up this article? So a truck carrying assorted government medicines intercepted in Chirawombwe. So police in Chirawombwe on the Copper Belt have intercepted a truck carrying assorted government medicines and arrested 5 individuals, among them Congolese nationals. Copper Belt Commissioner of Police Peacewell Mwemba says the incident occurred on Monday this week at Konkora Police checkpoint, where a Hino mini truck was found carrying 9 boxes of small malaria test kits and 19 boxes of Coatem. So that's an interception that happened with regard to Ministry of Health Medicine. It was heading to Congo. UPND government has increased petrol to 33.47 from 31, and then diesel to 30.05 from 29.30. So that there has been an increase. This was published by the Patriotic Front, but the Energy Regulation Board put up, they should have done a live stream where they were explaining the increase of the cost of fuel. So those are the prices that you expect when you hit the filling station as of midnight tonight. Those prices will be in effect. What is Mausampa says, Mines Bill presented today for all its good intended purposes was also indirectly going to remove a law that mines should employ Zambians first and also offer supply contracts to Zambians first. Opposition has objected and the bill has been deferred to tomorrow. So Mausampa was simply saying there was a bill that was about to be passed in Parliament, but it adds those disadvantages with regard to prioritizing Zambian suppliers and also employing Zambians first. And they want those changes to be made before the members of Parliament can vote on it or pass the bill. That's Mausampa reporting from Parliament. And Chief Etayari say, update, I've bought the new phone I wanted. You people never fail me. Thanks very much. So it seems like he had asked his followers to buy him a phone. He has relocated to a new country. He has not stated where he is, but it's definitely not in the same time zone with Zambia, because the times that he's been doing his streams are different from the usual time that he used to do them. So he further posted to say this is still Shufetari in a new place that he's living. He is saying he's no longer living in hotels. He has found a place or a house where he's living. So I've just installed fiber optic internet. Even Netflix is flowing like pumped water. Let's do this testing at 14 hours. So he simply says you can see that individual setting up his internet in his new home. Don't know, it looks like an Asian doing that job there. Anyway, that's a predicament with Chief Etayari. He was just thanking his people for buying him a phone, and probably they're paying for that internet. What is President Hakainde Hichilema was at State House today, and he had a meeting with mayors. So the president put up this article. He says it was a great pleasure meeting our mayors and town chairpersons from across the nation today at State House. These officers are elected and representatives of the people, and they are therefore part of government like us. Their supreme call is to deliver development to their areas and jurisdiction, and to manage public resources prudently. This can only be achieved if they embrace the sacrosanct concept of teamwork at all levels, central and local government, and within the communities they serve. With a debt restructuring process behind us, and the rejuvenated mining sector, and the enhanced constituency development fund, which will be further increased in 2025, we expect to see significant development in our local council economies. These officials must therefore ensure development is delivered to every citizen with no bureaucratic delays and without discrimination. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia. So these are some of the images that came from that meeting that the president had at State House with the council chairpersons and the mayors. That's a good photo that they had. and some ministers were present. I can see Gary Nkombo there. I see Sylvia Masewo, and should be Kangombe on the far right there, and also the UPND Secretary General there, and yeah, a couple of individuals I do not know there. But these are images from State House earlier on today. Daily Liberation says majority prevails on the 7-year term debate, UPND. People arguing about the increase of presidential term from 5 years to 7 years are entitled to their opinion. So it seems like, as I said, these are the results according to this channel, the opinion poll we run here. So 78% of you say no to that 7-year increase. But anyway, it seems like that it's a conversation we're having in the nation at the moment. And then Rara Miti says, we have rogue officers, officers all over the Zambia police. And then I'm under pressure to reassure people of Sinazongwe to give UPND and Hakainde HDM a time. District chairperson or chairman says this was reported in a mass newspaper of today. And what else? This is the area news article that I had shown you. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night or good morning, depending on whichever time zone you're watching from.